welcome to episode 3, the final chapter in the Hattamura walkthrough saga. As you can see in the title, I indeed was paid out over $20,000 for my K card. And the beauty in all this is that I had faith in myself. Shout out to everybody in the comments who encouraged me. Shout out to the comments that people said that I would get 8,000, 9,000. We're going to get into that as well. But before we talk about my final number, did I keep the car, did I not keep the car, I do want to say this video is going to be one of the most in-depth videos I post on YouTube. If you want a full breakdown, if you want to ask me questions, if you want to learn exactly what to say, if you're in an accident, if you're watching this video a year from now, months from now, weeks from now, shoot me a message on Patreon. I'm looking forward to help anybody. I want everyone to get a fair chance and a fair evaluation. Period. Regardless of the amount of money I got, I'm telling everyone this, if I had to choose between getting rear-ended on the highway and almost dying and my car being totaled or getting $20,000, I'd rather not be in an accident. But at the end of the day, I can sleep good at night knowing that I got a fair offer. And if I decide to fix the vehicle, I think that I should have enough money and maybe I'll walk away with, a little something. But we'll get to that when we need to get to that. But with all that being said, I want to let you know that this video is for entertainment purposes. It's going on YouTube. I'm not giving you legal advice. Do whatever you think is best for you. But now let's talk about my case and what I think is best for me. So this is part 3 in the final saga in this whole series. If you want to watch part 1, click the corner right now. If you want to watch part 2, go watch that video. But essentially, I bought the Hattamura walkthrough a little over a year ago. It was always my goal since I can remember to have a mobile vehicle. I felt like a schoolie was too big for me living in New York City, and I figured the Mirror walkthrough was perfect. So I bought one. It was turbo swapped, front end swapped. I got a custom window cut out. I put checkered floors. I put a sub, speakers, got the seats reupholstered, you name it, underglow, rims, calipers, maintenance, whatever I could possibly do to make sure that my mobile store was as reliable as possible. I did it. Funny enough, before the accident, I was driving it to Maryland and it had a great turnout. Shout out to everybody in capital K. After that, I was like, you know what? Let me continue to drive the car even further. I ended up driving all the way to Atlanta, go to another event. Again, living out my dream, being able to sell stuff. People be like, wow, I've never seen this car before. It's so cool. I would love to get this for my cookie business. I would love to get to sell lemonade. It was such a great experience being able to do that. On my way back home from that trip, there was a distracted driver. She hit me going maybe 90. I was going 65 on the right lane. The car swerved all the way here, swerved all the way back. Luckily, nobody was injured as far as me go. No one had any major injuries. She was able to drive away and go to work. My car, unfortunately, had to get towed, and it's been sitting in North Carolina ever since. This was, at this point, over 2 months ago. About 3 years ago, I was in a similar situation where my Miata was parked outside. It was a hit and run, and I had to go through my insurance. And at the end of the day, again, I got a fair payout, and I was able to keep my car, and it was a slight silver lining, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't devastated. At the end of the day, it's just a car. Like, I'm not one of those people who are like, oh my God, my life is over. Like, it's a car. It's a piece of metal. And the reason I bring up that Miata is that I know this wasn't going to be easy. I know there was going to be a tug and pull, but I knew that at the end of the day, I was going to get a fair offer. I didn't know that they were going to play all the tricks that they did. I didn't know that I was going to be told to
just pack it on up.
But at the end of the day, I was able to
pack it on up.
Just with me on the winning end, if you want to call it that, on the positive end. I don't want to say winning because, again, I don't want to be in an accident, but I was able to, again, sleep nice and be, okay, I'll just
pack it on up
into the wind. So now let's go over my case. Again, I'm going to react to all these videos. I'm going to really dig deep on why I said this and how I did that and what made me want to do this at that point after 12 days. Why didn't you do that? Why did you go this way? I'm going to completely break down step by step on Patreon. Head over to patreon.com/WayBeforeTheFame. It's $5 a month. I help people with K cards, with JDM cards. I'm actually headed to Japan in 2 weeks if you're watching this, when I post it right away. But I'm going to be there sourcing cards for people. If you have a K card, if you have a JDM card, if you're looking to import one yourself, I can help you. I can help you with a broker. Whatever you need, I'll be in Japan and I'll be able to help you. I'll be there for months, maybe even a year. But when I first got in contact with the insurance company, their very first offer, go watch part 1 if you want to watch that, was $8,000 and they keep the car. That was the very first offer. That was our baseline. Everyone knows decline the first offer, but what do you do after that? Okay, you declined it, but how do you show them that, no, I don't want your $8,000, you keep the car. I want $20,000. What is the gap here? So I'm going to try to show you that as much as I can here, but this is, more like entertainment. Patreon, I can make a 6-hour video and I don't really mind. I know no one's watching a 6-hour video on YouTube. But remember, the very first offer, $8,000 and they keep the car. We got to figure out how do we get to $20,000. So when I got that offer, as you can see here, I was like, you know what? Show me how you got to $8,000. Are we just throwing numbers out there? Or are you actually finding comparables, which we're going to use that word a lot. Have you found comparables to give me a fair offer? They came back to me and said, you know what? We're not even going to give you $8,000. We'll give you $8,500 and we keep the car. Or you can get $6,800 and they keep the car, because there's a 20% salvage fee, which is really just them talking out of their butt. There is no 20% retention or salvage fee. That doesn't exist. And then we also learned that the reason I was getting these $8,000 offers is because they were citing cars from Japan. So I had to let them know in this very long email. You can screenshot it if you want. Here are my 3 comparables. Comparables, essentially what they are is, a vehicle similar to yours. So if you have a rare car, even like a Daihatsu Mirror walkthrough, more than likely there's a dealership. It has to be a dealership. It can't be you and your friends putting cars on Facebook Marketplace. It has to be a dealership. So even with a Daihatsu Mirror walkthrough, which is a pretty rare car, I was able to find 3 of them in America for an average value of $16,400. So if you add the $15,000 one, another $15,500 one, and a $17,000 one, we're able to get a fair market value just base at $16,000. None of my aftermarket parts, which a lot of people were commenting saying that you don't get any money for your aftermarket parts. If you put rims, if you put a lift kit, if you put all this stuff, you don't get any money from it. So when I sent them that, I let them know, hey, I also have a ton of receipts and that I'm into the car $35,000. I will settle for $23,500. That was me letting them know. They're at 8, I'm at 23. How do we fill this gap? So after I sent them that, they said, we'll get back to you. 12 days went by. They said, you know what? Our new value after reassessing your vehicle, looking into it for 12 days, is actually $8,621.81 with no customizations. So that's the base value. Remember, at this point, it's been almost 3-4 weeks. We're just trying to get a base value. When you're talking to insurance companies, especially if you have a lot of aftermarket stuff, the goal is just to find a base value. They said that isn't the final number. They'll give me the final number once they take into account all my receipts. But right now, your car is worth $8,600. And when they told me that, I'm sitting over here like, how did they get this number? There's no way. I searched all over the internet because they're never going to know more about Daihatsu Mirror walkthroughs than I do. How could they have been able to find 2 or 3 Daihatsu Mirror walkthroughs to give them an average value of $8,600? You can barely even find the car in Japan for that price. Not mentioning tariff, shipping, title, tag, everything. So I said, hey, show me again, the same way you gave me that $8,000 offer, how you got to it. They ignored me. Asked them again, hey, can you let me know how you got this $8,600? Ignored me. And then I had to let them know. And the reason they were ignoring me is because they kept saying, hey, send us your receipts. Send us your receipts. That's not the final number. Nicholas, don't worry about it. We're going to give you more money, but right now, that's the base. And I'm like, forget my receipts. My receipts are irrelevant right now. You guys think that my base value is half of what it really is. So eventually I said, is there a reason why you don't want to send me the comparables? Like, I sent you mine. I helped you guys out. I'm doing your job. Just send it to me. They end up selling it to me. And as you saw, the comparables that they use, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see on the screen right now, 2 Daihatsu HiJets. Not a walkthrough, not a Mira, not a Miragino, not a midget, even use a midget, a HiJet, not even the same class vehicle. That's sneaky. Remember, at the end of the day, this person's doing their job and I'm not doing anything personal. Don't tell me to pack it on up. But that's not fair, right? You can't send me a HiJet. You know I don't drive a HiJet. You know when you looked at that picture of the HiJet, oh, let's look at comparables. This is a pickup truck. This blue one, also a pickup truck? Yeah. So when that happened, all hell broke loose in my mind. I said, no. Let's start building up a case because it's been almost a month now and we still haven't even determined what a base value is. And you don't even know what vehicle I have. So that's when I sent them this long itemized email going over everything. On the 20th, I was hit. On the 25th, I spoke to you guys about my tow and my flight back home. On the 1st, my car was deemed a total loss. On the 4th, I spoke to John. He told me to pack it on up and my car is worth $8,000. On the 4th, I also let you know that a base value is $16,000. 12 days went by, and you told me that my car is now worth $8,600. From this email, though, everything changed. They called me, and they let me know. So when I was on the phone, I was like, okay, cool. Just send me the $23,500, and we'll end it right here. They were like, no, we just can't do that. You haven't sent us any receipts. Even if we use your 16,000 comparable, they kind of turned it back on me. That's not 23,000. Where are we coming up with the other 7,000? I said, cool. So at that point, I was like, I'm just going to wait, and we're going to get all my receipts together. I was driving to Citi Field. I was going on Amazon. I was compiling all my receipts together to then send it to them. And like I said, I'm going to break down everything on Patreon, but a big reason I didn't send my receipts when they were giving me the $8,600 valuation is that I didn't want to show my whole hand. I wanted us to only focus on a base value. That way we can stay here and then continue to build. Remember, $8,000, they keep the car first offer. I got $20,000. So if I just say to them all my receipts, I let everyone know, hey, boom, right there, they could only really make me an offer maybe for like 12. And then how do I continue to raise that number? We got to go from 8 to 16 and then hopefully get a lot of money for my receipts. And then we end up at 20. You can't just go 820. It's not just going to be like that. There's going to be tug and pull, tug and pull. So that's why I didn't send them my receipts. Also, another tip, if they ask you if you want to keep your car, always just say no. They ask me that 1,000 times. You can hear it on the phone calls. Hey, do you want to keep it? Hey, do you want to keep it? Honestly, did I want to keep it? 100%. It's my forever cake. I want to keep it 100%. If they would have gave me 50,000, I would have been like, oh, okay, you guys can have it. But I wasn't going to take 8,000 and keep the car. I was going to take 6,000 and keep the car. No. I needed a fair offer, and then we get to that later. I'm not even too worried about the retention. Let me just make sure we get a fair market value, an actual cash value is what they call it. Let's get that out of the way. So over these next 2-3 days, there was a bunch of phone calls, not with the same person who told me to pack it up. I spoke to someone else, and I'm going to post all those on Patreon, but essentially, I eventually got an email that said, following up on our conversation today, and then they acknowledged the comparables. At that point, when they sent me the comparables, we have agreed to acknowledge my comparables. Finally. Does that mean I'm going to get the 16,000? You'll see later. But we at least have a flat line around like 10, 11, 12, 13 at the minimum. So at this point, I know I'm getting more than 10, 11, 12. I'm including all my receipts. I took the liberty to itemize each item. Some of them I'm still going through my hard drive to locate just because I couldn't find everything. And then based off our conversation, I have good faith that we're going to get to a resolution very soon. And then I let them know, let everybody watching too. Realistically, I'm over 35,000 into this car, and it's not their fault. You know what I mean? And it's not my fault either. It's a situation I didn't ask to get crashed into. You know what I mean? Like I started this video with, I did not want to get rear-ended so I could be like, oh guys, yeah, I got $20,000. Yippee. No. And then I let them know that I'm prepared to walk away from this hopefully feeling good. Shout out the ice cream truck right now. It's kind of funny. If you guys remember, my first mirror walkthrough, I put those sounds in it, and then everyone called it an ice cream truck. Maybe this is a sign from God that I should be making this video right now. So then, this is when the gooding gets good. She comes back to me. Hey, we give you a base value of $14,500. Still not 16. And then 40% of my receipts. Remember. Let's do a long pause right now. Remember. Countless comments talking about, hey, keep your car stock. You're not going to get any money for receipts. Where did this narrative come from? Where did this come from that we just don't get money for receipts? So boom, I just put 10,000 in my car, get into rear end, and I get no money from that? Where did this narrative come from? So base value, 14.5, 40% of my receipts, which is still me losing more. I fought on that after, it's getting louder. But if we add all my receipts plus my base value, we get $22,139. $22,000. Remember, 8,000, they keep the car. 22,000, they keep the car. Or 16,700, 800, and I keep the car. So at this point, I'm really looking in the mirror like, okay, so essentially you're telling me the car is worth $7,000. It's not worth $7,000. It's not worth $7,000 to me. It's not worth $7,000 to you. It's not worth $7,000 to Copart. It's not worth $7,000 to no one. So I'm looking at this like, okay, I mean, I could walk away with $23,000. I think a lot of people watching this might be like, take the 23. Take the 23. Don't even fight. Take the 23. Go about your day. Buy another mirror walkthrough in Japan. Buy the window. Do the wood grain. Do blah, 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 blah. No, that's not good enough. Just because this is our first realistic offer, you got to remember that. We've been doing this for a month. I'm $35,000 into this car. I know to a lot of people this might be like, oh my God, Nicholas, take the money. No, that's not what we're doing here. So I come back with, I love that offer. That's a first fair offer. If they want to tell me to kick rocks, or pack it up, I should say. But I let them know, because the reason that they lowered the base value is because mine had more mileage than the comparables and blah, blah, blah. I let them know it does have more miles, but it's also newer. The comparables from 92, 91, they were L200, mine's an L500, a completely different vehicle in a way. So I let them know, hey, my mileage is higher, but my car is newer. So I think the $16,000 is fair. That way I get another $1,500 on top, and then let me get 50% of my receipts. That way I only lose half, not majority, half. And then that will bring us to 26 plus the tow, plus me flatbedding it back home, plus the flight, plus everything. And then I let them know that I will settle for $23,000, which is their initial offer, and I keep the car. Because at the end of the day, that thing is not worth $7,000. If you pay $7,000 for that, Copart's not giving you $7,000. I'm just gonna go buy it at Copart for like $2 G's, and you guys are losing either way. Don't even send it to Copart. So what you do in that situation, I'm giving you guys a lot of tips right now that I should really be saving for Patreon. But what you do in that situation is you call a bunch of places. Hey, I got this Japanese car. It's totaled. It doesn't even go on its own power. It needs to be wenched on. It's beat to crap. How much money would you give me to get rid of this? A lot of places told me $0. So I let her know that, hey, I called all these places. This guy told me he'll give me $50. This guy told me he'll give me $20. This person said he'll give me $0. That is because it's so light, it's nothing. It's worthless to them. So I let them know, hey, so we can both win in this situation. Let's be realistic. This is the very last email. Then I got my check. Life goes on. She told me that I can get $21,000 and 35 cents, and they unfortunately cannot adjust the receipts, and that's with me keeping the car. We're gonna open this up in a second, but I want it to be dramatic. $21,000 and I keep the car. Again, do I get rear-ended and almost die? Slight PTSD when I see people driving fast behind me. $21,000 and I keep the car. It's not even close. Don't run into me. At the end of the day, though, after I fought and really, was knowledgeable enough to let them know, hey, I'm not taking your $8,000. You really have to think about this. These people are usually the ones in power. It's similar to police officers, where they're usually the one in power. So when you meet someone that knows the law, when you meet someone who knows what they're doing, they don't like that. They tell you to pack it on up. They send you a completely different vehicle, a HiJet. What if that person would have took the first offer? Everyone tells you, hey, decline the first offer. Okay, so they don't send you 8. They send you 8,600 12 days later. Imagine being without a car for 12 days. That's a long time. What if I had 3 kids? What if I got to go to school? What if I got to pick up my brother from the airport? I have no car this whole time. And it's almost been a month. They feed off people who really need that. That's why me in the position, I'm like, no. We're not doing this. I'm going to make sure I even make a YouTube video of this because I want to help everybody out. I'm doing this for free. I don't have to make this video. I could have got my 21 G's and been like, okay, cool. Let everybody know, yeah, I got a good payout. No. I want to help you guys. I want to let everybody know that just because we have a K card, just because you have a car that isn't in Kelly Blue Book, so many comments of people telling me, yeah, the only reason they use cars in Japan is because there's none sold here. There's no Kelly Blue value. Irrelevant. There's comparables. It doesn't matter if my car is, it's so rare that there's one car in the entire country, but there's mirror walkthroughs here. I was able to find 3. Not 2, 3. I even found more, but I was finding 3 at dealerships. 3 different dealerships where you get a base value. And then luckily, everyone who said you don't get money for receipts, $7,500 says differently. If I didn't have any receipts, I should have walked away with $14,500, right? No. You get money for receipts. So I do want to highlight some of the comments because I even put a poll on Patreon too. It's pretty cool. We got 80 votes here, and most people said 14 to 17, seeing how I kept the car, or 17 to 20. To be honest, that would be pretty fair. I don't want to say I have a rare situation, but I'm $35,000 into the car. If it's just a normal mirror walkthrough, maybe. And then a couple people commented 2023. 2026 would be, technically I could have walked away with 24, maybe even fought more, and they keep the car. Maybe I walked away with 26, but I wanted the car. I hope that one day I can drive it again, and I still want to do a crazy road trip to Miami, California, and I still want to be a mobile store. I still want to do that. I want to sell these shirts. I want to sell pins. I even made stickers. I forgot to show you guys. But I even made stickers and so many other things that I want to show you guys. So hopefully I can fix it. But I'm moving to Japan either way. So we'll determine that when we need to next year, honestly. Now let's talk about some of the comments. I'm not calling anybody out. I blurred out everyone's name. If you're watching this video and this is one of your comments, I'm not trying to say you're a bad person or nothing like that. I just want to let you know, and everybody watching, that there's like actual fairness and facts, and then there's not. Like at the end of the day, like this car is not worth $8,000. That's not a fair offer. That's not even remotely fair. I walked away. I want to continue to say this. Very first offer, $8,000 and they keep the car. $21,000 and I keep the car. It's almost triple the amount. Okay, so $8,000 and they keep the car. Second offer, $8,650. Okay, 12 days later, $2,100 and I keep the car. Next offer, $16,000, $17,000, and they keep the car. $21,000, okay? My Patreon's $5 a month. I would have made you almost triple the amount for you asking me questions and me helping you through $5 a month, $60 a year, okay? One more time, $8,000, they keep the car. $21,000 and I keep the car. Before we end this video, I just want to talk about a couple comments that really stood out for me. I really highlighted this one a lot of times already, but insurance companies do not pay for shipping. They only pay for the value of the car. And since there's no blue book, they're only going to pay you what you put into it. They don't pay for extras. They don't pay for doors. They don't pay for anything of that. They only pay for the car itself. You can put a lift kit with tires and they're not going to pay for it. Someone might read this and be like, damn, man, maybe I shouldn't do all that to my car. $7,500. Okay, and I got that from this shady company. Imagine they had a better company. I maybe got that 50%, 60% maybe. Who knows? You know what I mean? So this is just not true. So if you're buying stuff on Amazon, you're buying stuff online, you're buying stuff locally, for the most part, try to get a receipt, try to have a good relationship with them. I was able to drive back to the spot by City Field to get a lot of receipts. I was able to contact the people who did my window to get the receipts. This is just not true. The car wasn't sold here? True. I found comparables here? True. They're not going to use cars from Japan. That's just not the way. That's just not fair. You should have known that the insurance company only give you the value of the car, not the modifications. They only give you for fair market value. $21,000. Why would insurance companies talk about tariffs? It's irrelevant to the claim. They can't use Kelly Blue Book, and there isn't enough in the States, I guess, to give me a fair value. They said, if I was you, I would tell the insurance, give me 12 or 8 and they keep the car. If I were you, you would want 12,000. Maybe they make it put 21. Maybe they put the 1 before the 2. Maybe that's what you meant, because I don't think that you would want 12, right? Because if you did, you could go over to Patreon for $5, and maybe we could give you 9 extra thousand, and you keep the car. So technically, you said 8, and I keep the car, so I'll give you 13 more thousand for $5. But that's you. This is me. This is the end of the saga. Again, pretty annoying situation. I think I tried my best to make it funny. I made stickers. I got more merch on the way. And it's not the end of the world. This $20,000 isn't going to make me, oh my God, I'm going to buy an ARC-7 now. No, I want to allocate at least like 10 towards my Merrill walkthrough. I don't even know. I still have to pick it up, so stay tuned for that video. I still got to go all the way to North Carolina to pick it up. I still need to pay now for a flatbed to tow it all the way back to New York. I need to pay for gas, tolls. So $21,000 really isn't even that. But now I do my closing credits. Shout out to Josh and A44 Imports. If it wasn't for everything he taught me in my Miata claim, not to show my whole hand, that this is poker, at the end of the day, I keep saying it over and over. Their goal is to give me as little money as possible. My goal is to get as much money as possible. We need to meet in the middle, and we need to do it fairly. We can't compare HiJets. We can't just say, hey, you want 8,000? Well, maybe he'll say yes. Well, maybe this person was desperate. They just need the money. Oh, well, we're going to make him wait 12 days and tell him now, oh, you know what's worth $8,600. That's not fair. I just want a fair value, and I think that I was able to walk away with a fair value. Do I want more? Of course. I want $100,000. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm okay with the 21. I get to keep the car, and life goes on. But again, big shout out to Josh. Big shout out to everybody who was supportive. I know I highlighted some of the mean comments, but there were so many people that I know most people watching this wish that I did get $100,000 because it's a crappy situation. But hopefully through these videos, through my Patreon, I'm able to help other people out. It would bring me so much gratitude. If I saw someone recently, they had a cappuccino, and I even commented, hey, message me if you want me to help. He never messaged me, so maybe someone will send him this video, and I can help you get as much money as possible. Gio, actually, that was one person. Shout out to Gio in Ohio. Comment below your experience. I told him, hey, I didn't even give him that many tips, but I really let him know. Just do 1, 2, 3, and he was able to walk away with a nice payout on his cappuccino that he just recently imported. And stuff like that makes me happy because no one wants to be in an accident. No one wants to deal with any of that. But if we can be in an accident and we're able to walk away with not the worst feeling, I think that everyone would go with that option. So now what we're going to do is just pack it on up. Stay tuned for some shirts, some hats. I'm going to Japan in like 2 weeks, so I don't know if I'll be able to ship everything out. But if you want a sticker, I'm going to add a bunch of this stuff on the website. I'm going to add even more things when I finally get back from picking up my Merrill walkthrough in North Carolina. I'm actually headed down there in a couple of days. And there you have it, guys. There you have it. I've been waiting to post this video for a while. I just wanted the case to be officially over. And now that it is, let's see what happens. What's next on the agenda? Do I find another mirror walkthrough? Do I fix that one? When I go to pick it up, do I look at it and realize, you know what? Part out coming soon. Who wants the engine? Do we cut it in half and turn it into like a trailer and I have one mirror walkthrough pulling another mirror walkthrough? Whatever the case may be, road to 50K, road to 100K. This is going to be an amazing year. We're going to turn this really sour situation into something sweet. And thank you guys for watching. Let's go pack it on up.
Remember the name. This is
Pack it on up.